Welcome to It's a Grand Life, where our mission is to be a voice for grand families and kinship caregivers everywhere. Did you know that in the United States alone, there are 2.3 million grandparents raising their grandchildren? 2.3 million. It's a Grand Life is committed to making a difference for those kids. That's why we have the podcast, a Facebook group, and the Grand Fund. The Grand Fund, which is a 501c3 which was launched in June of 2024, provides financial assistance to grand families, including shelter, food, clothing, and household needs. Grand families are in every neighborhood, in every city, every tribe and territory nationwide. If this is you or someone you love, we're here for you. And we welcome you to join us on this mission. Our goal is to offer hope and resources to help you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review. You can also join our Facebook group. Just search for it under It's a Grand Life. And your reviews, comments, and sharing of our podcasts help us reach others that need assistance. Welcome to another episode of It's a Grand Life. Hello, my name is Craig Nash, and we'd like to welcome you to another It's a Grand Life. And you're going to absolutely be blessed today. I've got a co-host with me in the studio and a phenomenal guest to share what is going on in the arena of kids being bullied. Kimber Bishop Yanke is joining us today. But my co-host is Grace this morning in apparently there was some sort of ice storm in southeast Michigan. And Grace, thank you so much for co-hosting today. Are you excited to be with us?
Yeah.
Do you have a number of questions for our guest?
Yeah.
She is absolutely thrilled, and you can tell at home. But we're going to have fun today and talk about a very challenging subject with one of our favorite guests. And Kimber Bishop Yanke, thank you so much for joining us here on It's a Grand Life. And I know you've got multiple hands and multiple things. This is the first of a couple of shows that we're going to do with you today. But talk to us about this kids empowered business that you have to really help kids be empowered and be positive and energized and make it in this tumultuous environment of raising kids. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Yeah, I got into it by accident, like most everything else I'm doing in my life. And I was talking to one of my students in the class, a mom who had a middle school daughter, and she was telling me all the struggles that she was going through. And I just casually mentioned that my friends and I in graduate school had always talked about, wanting to help girls develop self-esteem so they wouldn't grow up to be mean girls and they could, speak their truth. And she begged me to do it. And so I approached the health club I was at, and they agreed I could do a summer camp. And that was, I did my first camp and with a bunch of fifth grade girls, and saw it was like, whoa, these girls already had so many beliefs and negative beliefs about themselves and the world. And so I realized from day one that, we had to start younger, but I loved it. The parents loved it. So I started doing it, and it quickly took over, my life. And I believe that there's many ways to solve a problem, many ways to have different paths in your life. So as many tools as you can get, and as much as you can learn about other people and the way they experience things and handle things, we're all going to be better people when we can have grace and empathy and understand many different ways. Our way is not the only way.
Absolutely. And Grace, I think you have a question for Mrs. Yanke, right?
How do you help kids?
So I'm all about skills, okay? So I like to teach the skills of how do you problem solve, handle conflict, how do you make friends, how do you become a true friend? What happens if your friend says, I'm not your friend today? So I get into really nitty-gritty details of the words you use, the tone of voice, your body language, being strategic. And really, after so many years of doing this, a lot of it comes down to our brain and understanding how we respond and understanding how to manage and calm that brain so that we can choose to respond in the way we want to respond.
That's a great response. You mean sometimes young girls say they don't want to be your friend in the middle of the day, even though they want it to be at the beginning of the day? Does that ever happen?
Yeah, all the time.
It's very hurtful, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that our kids and our adults, our parents, many of us never learned how to have a good fight. Like, arguing and conflict is all normal, but we never learned how to do it. And I think that we're seeing the impact of not knowing how to have hard conversations when you disagree with somebody. Most of us resort to name calling, insulting, or just avoiding. I'm not even going to talk to you anymore. So what happens in middle school, these girls are using friendship. They're upset about something, but they don't know how to express that, and they don't know how to have a healthy conversation about, hey, I love being your friend, but when you left me out at lunch today, that didn't make me feel good. They also use it for manipulation. So if I'm going to hold this friendship carrot over your head to control you. And if our kids, especially girls, I don't like to scare parents and grandparents, but the truth of the matter is 1 in 5 high school girls experiences dating violence. And if our girls don't learn how to navigate these boundaries with their friends, they're not going to learn how to navigate it when they come into their first relationship.
So that you gave us a lot there, Kimber. This whole idea of having a good fight. You just triggered something in my memory. My parents, we're like Ozzie and Harriet Nelson. They never had any fights, and then they had one fight, and the next thing I know, they were getting divorced. So I think it really makes so much sense. And you're not talking about putting the gloves on but you're just talking about handling disagreements in a mature and sensible manner. How do you teach that?
I have to tell you that I also grew up, I called my childhood Disney World. My mother, when I was in my early 20s, she shared with me that she was not allowed to tell us anything that was bad and that was happening. So we grew up not knowing anything about life,
right.
Thinking that everybody was nice and everybody got to go to Disney World, and that wasn't the truth. And like sometimes I wonder like how I even survived because I was so naive. But so again, like let's say for me, standing up to meanness and unfriendly friends and unfriendly classmates, the 3 skills that you need are your tone of voice. So you teach what is assertive, what is firm, and you show what is not. So aggressive, that's a sassy voice, or angry voice, or mean voice, yelling, or a whiny voice is passive and makes it worse. So you show like this is what it is and this is what it's not. We have to talk about both so that people can see like what it should be, what you want to strive towards. And like the words, like many kids, teachers used to get mad at me, especially kindergarten teachers, because they teach kids to say please for everything. So you have all these kids who have grown up, when someone is mean to them, they'll say, please stop. No, we are not asking people to stop. We are letting them know it is not okay and you do not have the right to treat me that way. So it's these little words can make a whole difference in the way you come across. Kids will ask kids to stop, pulling their hair or insulting them. And no, we're not asking. We're letting you know this is not happening. It's not okay. And I'm okay with me. So that's another key part. It teaches kids how to, I call it moving on, because walk away was taught for years and years in school. Just walk away, ignore them, it'll go away. No, by walking away. Now, there are occasions when walking away is a good thing. Like if you're in danger or you think that person's not in control of themselves. Of course, like there are times in life when walking away is a good choice. But the majority of time, the best time to prevent bullying is to nip that meanness in the bud right away. So we say you have 3 different times to try it to get it to stop. And then on the 4th time, you have to get help from an adult.
Interesting.
And it's important to teach kids that if one adult doesn't help you, you go to the next adult, and you keep going until you find the person that will help you. Because many adults also grew up that, hey, it happened to me as a kid, I survived, or just walk away. Like I've asked adults, when parents have expressed frustration about how their kids are handling these situations, I say to them, well, tell me how you want them to handle it. How should they handle it? And they don't know. So I'm like, if you can't answer the question, like you're expecting your kid to know how to handle it. It's not fair.
Oh, that's good stuff, dude. Does that sound like the real world of the elementary school life? Where you have this bullying that's going on, or folks picking on folks. You've even seen that on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you handle bullying on the bus?
So the most important player in bullying is bystanders. And the bystander is a person who sees the meanness and does nothing, okay? And that's another part of our culture. Most of us grew up hearing, it's not your problem, don't get involved, I don't want you getting in trouble, the bully might come after you, or your friends might, diss you because you're not going along with the meanness. And unfortunately, some of our parents care more about their child's popularity than their child's character. And that's what's frustrating, is that, I grew up hearing all about being kind and being nice. And
Absolutely.
And I feel like we were all taught a big lie.
Because it doesn't straighten out the problem, being too kind and sweet and nice and
Well, if people are not. It's not how people, you have people saying one thing but doing another thing. And so what's happened is, because we were all taught not to get involved, it's not our problem.
right.
And it's not fair to kids. Kids go to school, and many times they get a different message from every single teacher. So you might have 3 teachers in one grade, and one teacher is saying, come to me for everything. Another teacher is saying, after you fix it yourself, come to me.
Right.
And then another teacher might be saying, don't be a tattletale. And so kids are very confused. And then they get a message from their parents that is different, and a message sometimes from the counselor. I mean, one time I walked into a school to do a presentation, and all over the school were posters about walk away, ignore it. And I said to the principal, as we're walking down the hall, I said, I want you to know that I'm teaching a different message. I'm teaching kids how to stand up for themselves. And she said, oh yeah, just ignore those posters. But okay, but like, that's the message you're teaching kids. Like,
right.
It's confusing, and they're scared. They're so scared of getting in trouble and being accused. The ultimate bullies can turn it around and make it look like the victim is the problem.
Oh, right. Now, Kimber, we work primarily with grandparents who are raising their grandkids. And is your curriculum, I think that would be apropos for a group of grandparents and primarily grandmothers who meet? Because we have, we're starting to run into a lot of folks in and around Metro Detroit that have these excellent support groups for grandparents raising grands. And it can be absolutely overwhelming raising your grandchild with the economic challenges and the the bullying issues and the education challenges and everything else. But is this something that you could go to a group in the Metro Detroit area and put on a lecture and or a series of lectures and help the grandparents have the right message for their grands?
Absolutely. I will tell you, because I also do one-on-one coaching with kids, and I had a teenage girl that was being bullied, and her mother was an emergency room doctor. And they, sat with me. I told her exactly what to say, strategies, tone of voice, all of that. And the emergency room doctor came back the next time and said, Kimber, I want you to know that I tried these with the nurses I work with. I get bullied by the nurses I work with. And she said, and it works. She's like, I finally felt like I could stand up for myself. And so many parents often, when they dive deep into what I'm doing, I can't tell you, even dads have told me, I am using the tool you're teaching my kid. And so this information is valuable for everybody. And, I would love to reach that group of vulnerable, people who are trying to do the best they can for their grandkids. They don't have the tools, and it's a whole different ballgame today. It's definitely meaner out there.
Right.
For sure.
But we both do a lot of work with like groups like OLSA and other groups that, and they have grandparent groups that I think this would be absolutely a perfect message for, because it plays on both levels, the grandchild level and the grandparent level, as you just stated, because we need some grandparents with some backbones too. They've been handed some curveballs, and it's absolutely not easy. So what is we're going to have your, at the bottom of the screen, like we had last time, we're going to have your website and contact information. What typically are the extent of the training that you provide? Is it a one and done? Is it, and what's the best way to get the most out of Kids Empowered curriculum?
Well, I have many different ways I teach. My favorite is doing like one-on-one coaching, because I really get into the particular person's situation and really can hone in on what skills they need and that. But we have summer camps, and of course I'm not doing as much as I used to do, because I am so focused on our nonprofit now, which
Right.
has kind of consumed me. But I do a lot of Girl Scout workshops. I can come into a school and do classroom presentations. I will do assemblies. It's not my favorite. I don't believe in teaching skills to 300 kids at a time is effective. And I take pride in my work. So, when I come in somewhere, I want people to walk away like, if I feel successful. And it is like when I talk to parents or adults, I feel a burden, and so my burden is like, I want so badly to give them skills, but also to want to inspire them to want their kids to stand up to meanness and be the includer and be the kid that is the bright light in that school. And we need so much of that. So yeah, I would love to, reach more people. I eventually hope to put my workshops to a packaged curriculum where people can watch videos.
Yep.
I do have some curriculum that you can just buy. And it gives you the skills. So I have curriculum that you can purchase, summer camps, individual workshops, and one-on-one. I love doing parenting workshops. That's my absolute favorite, because again, my goal is to be effective. So if we're just talking to kids and the adults don't have the skills and understanding, it's not as effective. So I have hours and hours of things I can talk about.
Well, that just sounds absolutely great. And is all this information on your website?
It pretty much is, yeah.
And that's kidsempowered.com?
That's right.
Okay. So, by all means, first of all, thank you so much for being our guest here again on It's a Grand Life. And I'm always amazed at the discussion we have because it's so appropriate for grandparents raising grandkids, not only for the kids, but for the grandparents as well. Because I know sometimes we just feel beat up by the world. And, we need to have these coping skills and these skills to stand up for ourselves and, of course, stand up for our grands. And before we let Mrs. Yankee go, do you have any final thoughts for her? Do you appreciate her coming on today? You say thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You feel empowered?
Sure. Yes.
We have a camp this summer for middle school girls. It's really fun. It's called Around Town, and we go different places to have lunch, and we go to the movies, and we paint pottery. It's a really nice way to learn skills and actually be out and doing things together.
Well, that sounds really fun. It's called Around Town?
Yeah.
Okay.
Middle school girls around town. I'll send you some info.
Please do. That sound good? Yeah, I thought you'd like that. Kimber, thanks so much for being our guest. We look forward to having you again and talking about your new and expanded passion of helping the homeless here in Southeast Michigan. But we look forward to seeing you again next time on It's a Grand Life. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today for It's a Grand Life. It's a Grand Life provides vital content, regulatory updates, and subject matter experts that are committed to supporting the 2.4 million kids and their caregivers from every neighborhood, every city, every tribe and territory nationwide. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review. Every new subscriber and review helps us reach others that need assistance. As caregivers, we are united in purpose. We are driven by hope while providing strength for today and hope for tomorrow. We are truly making a difference while living the grand life. If you have a suggestion for a future episode, please reach out to us. But we'll see you next time for another It's a Grand Life. Thank you for joining us.